You ever been in an interaction with any type of woman that you really liked, and then part of you, although you were really enjoying that interaction, you kind of didn't really care where it was going, right? You were cool with it, but at the same time, you didn't really care where it was going. You were kind of not, I don't want to say distant, but you were nonchalant. You're enjoying the experience, but you're not necessarily attached to a specific result. You see, that right there is the best position you could put yourself in when it comes to dating, because when you sit there and try to micro-calculate everything and you're like, oh my God, I can't lose this girl, I can't do this, I can't do that, you start acting from a position of fear instead of acting from a position of abundance and power into yourself. And she can sense that from a mile away because of the way you're talking and the way you're acting, the way you're looking at her. She senses that you're so desperate, you're so attached. And women could go ahead and try to justify this and say, no, we like this, this, when really internally they don't, and sometimes they don't even know why. It's because that signals lack of confidence. But when you have confidence, you don't show up in a needy way. You show up in a way that you want them and you desire them, but you're not needy. You're not necessarily micro-calculating everything you do. You're not trying to control every single outcome, all the different varieties, all the different types of ways the interaction could go. Instead, you're more chill, you're more relaxed. The same thing applies to anything in life, I swear to God. Like, for example, this video right here. I want it to be good, sure, but I'm not sitting there trying to calculate every single thing I'm saying and just putting it in this ball over here. Like, everything has to be just like how I envision it in this small, limited ball. When I do that, I'm gonna eventually mess it up because I'm thinking too much. I'm inside my head instead of being inside my body and grounded. And the way you're gonna get to do that is just by continuing to circulate. I've talked about it in a lot of videos, and honestly, a lot of times people will make dating so, I don't wanna say hard, but I wanna say it's so like advanced to the way where they have to calculate everything they do. You have to walk this way, you have to talk this way. I understand all those things. Maybe it's simplified for me because I've been doing this for a while. But for a lot of people, they think you have to play this game, you have to act this way. It's like the moment you're acting, the moment you've already lost, because you're not in your own frame. When you're acting, you're in someone else's frame. The whole idea is to put the power in your own frame so you could not need anything in particular. You're just relaxed, you're chill. You're not sitting there trying to, manipulate someone else into doing something for you, because women can sense that. They're very good at sensing that, so you gotta, be mindful of that. Control what you can control. Worry about yourself in terms of what you can put into yourself to make yourself a better man. And you already know what they are. If you're 18 and above watching this, you know what they are. Eating healthy, looking good, having some sort of a presence, having something you're passionate about in your life. When you're passionate about something, that tends to reflect also in how you're responding to life, responding to people, responding socially. And people can pick up on that. That's why they want to be part of what you're part of. But when you have nothing going on, and the only thing that's going on is by coincidence, some girl that you really liked happened to just kind of like you back, you blew it because you're way too excessive with her. You're way too trying to control everything. Just like I gave that example earlier, this small limited ball, instead of being relaxed. Relax. It's always best to be relaxed in life than to be all over the place and fucking anxious and you're like a mess. Just relax. Give it a rule of thumb, give it to yourself as a rule of thumb in life to just be more relaxed instead of trying to calculate or trying to anticipate or trying to make something happen when it's not supposed to, instead of just, relaxing in your own frame. So the message you can take from this video is just be in your own frame, relax, stop having attachments to certain things, to how the interaction is gonna go, to the future. Oh my God, that's a huge one. I used to do that all the time. I used to worry about the future and envision how life would be in the future with that specific person, and because of that, I started acting in certain ways. So yeah, I used to think about these things all the time and put myself into the future too much. Like, oh, this date has to be this way. I have to speak in this way. I can't bring up a question like this. Instead, when I relaxed and I just was myself, not only was I myself, I was also detached from the outcome. As much as I'm enjoying the experience, that's when I succeeded more, because I was just being me. I'm being more of Issam. I'm not being someone else or being in someone else's frame. So I could go on about this forever, but the whole point is, dude, remain in your own frame. Stop needing something to happen, because here's where you have to think objectively. When you see this woman for what she is instead of what you want her to be, which is the mistakes I used to make in my early 20s, when you see that, you tend to have a more accurate assessment of this person. When you have a more accurate assessment, you can then make, logical decisions instead of ones based on fear and anxiety. So think about that, dude. Be in your own frame, maintain your own frame control, relax, have a good time, and great things are gonna happen to you, brother. Peace.